MisterJoshRCT 123506, and in this video I'm going to be showing. This is basically me describing my trip to Six Flags Great America yesterday. I was with my best friend, and if I upload this in a few days, this was recorded August 9th. I went on the 8th, which is yesterday, and I rode Goliath for the first time as on my shirt. But I'm going to get to that later because the first thing I rode, because the lines for all of you that's been to Six Flags, it was stretching. The queue lines were all filled up from the station all the way back into Yankee Harbor, which is very far away. The lines were really long, so we didn't ride that. Up next, the first thing we rode was the American Eagle in front seat. That was pretty sweet. Same thing as always, American Eagle racing wooden coaster. Never gonna get old. Next, well, obviously we had lunch. Basically, I'm just gonna give you a walkthrough of how we rode everything and what kind of our experiences. Next we rode X-Flight because like after lunch we ate at the county fair place and X-Flight was right there, so we decided to ride X-Flight. And it's a great, it's a great old wing. Well, not old. It's a great wing coaster. But surprisingly, the lines were a little longer than how it usually was, but not as long as how we went for the Fright Fest last year. But anyway, same thing. We rode right side that time. That was the only time we actually rode X5 that day. We rode it right side. After X5, I went with my friend Steve. He said next we rode the Demon, also right there. He said that he wouldn't ride the Demon because he didn't want to get a whiplash. So, but we rode the Demon, and I didn't really get much of a whiplash. So, because like just follow what it says. Keep your head back, and you're gonna enjoy your ride. After that, just so you know, Goliath was our second to last thing, so I'm not going to do that next. After that, we were all hoping to head for the Viper, because the Viper was the next closest thing. But when we went there, Viper was having a temporary delay, so we couldn't ride it, sadly. It did open later in the day. That was the last thing we rode, but I'm not there yet. After that, we kind of went around the park, back around the park, kind of towards the entrance, so we rode the Whizzer after that. Same experience, but hey, it's still a fun ride, even though it's more of a family coaster, but hey, fun ride. One of the park's oldest, basically the park's oldest coaster, because the Demon was originally called the Turn of the Century, so I guess the Whizzer, is the only, like, original coaster. It had the same track colors when it first opened, so, after that, no, we did not ride the Columbia Carousel because we wanted to ride as many coasters as we could. We were running out of time by then because of how long some of the waits were. So, after that, we tried to go to Superman, but that was, like, long. The Dark Knight was also about as long as Superman, so we moved on to Batman the Ride. Batman the Ride is obviously, like, for most viewers that have been to most Six Flags parks, you should know the same experience of Batman the Ride. Then, after that, we finally got a ride on Goliath. World's tallest, steepest, fastest coaster, as on my shirt. The line actually, it was definitely getting shorter because it has 3 things where you go around and back and forth. It has 3 of those things. 2 of them were filled up, but the very first one, the one that's really long, was only half filled up, so that was nice. And at one part of the ride, I don't know why, but I don't understand why, but for one part of Goliath, like, the line just wasn't moving for like 10 minutes. But we eventually got there. But it was nice. My first ride on Goliath was sweet. Best coaster at the park by far. And yeah, But yeah, the first drop of Goliath, it's awesome. I love how fast the lift is. First drop, you're almost going straight down, and you really get the impression that you're going beyond vertical, like the only beyond vertical coaster I've ever been on. But hey, who wouldn't like a good ride that's like Goliath, a looping wooden coaster built by RMC? Who wouldn't like that? So, that's not the end of the day. Goliath wasn't the last thing. I would have ridden Raging Bull that day, but Goliath really took out a lot of my energy, so I rode something a little more mild, so then we rode the Viper because it was pretty close to Raging Bull. I almost rode Raging Bull, but, you know, energy wipe out. Goliath is a it's a giant ride, so energy got taken out, so no time for Raging Bull, and we did Viper instead. Oh, and I forgot to tell you something. At Batman the Ride, as we were waiting in line, it got delayed, and that took a little while. So basically, that was our day, and then we went home because we hadn't had dinner at the park because we totally lost track of time. But hey, it was nice to ride Goliath at sunset. It was pretty good for the first experience of Goliath. I went on July 5th to Six Flags Great America also, but the lines were really long that day, so we had like no time. And the time we went before that, June 17th, just wasn't open, so yeah, that's about it for this video, this experience of the Six Flags Great America Day from yesterday, August 8th. And I really hope to go to Six Flags soon or bring up another Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 coaster, just another video in general. So that's basically it for this coaster video. Bye.